Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Let us do our Caitanya Charitamrita invocation. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai. So we are reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. And we're going to finish this chapter today and probably start the next one. Krishna so desires.
Wait, you said Adi chapter 5?
Text 204. So, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Yana Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. Oh, very sweet verse. All glories to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Yeah, because it was Lord Nityananda who instructed him to go to Vrindavan, right? He said, go to Vrindavan, and there you will obtain all things. And all things means really everything, because he attained Sri. The author, Krishna's Kaviraj. He's saying that I have attained Radha Govinda, attained the Supreme Lord himself. Purport. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prarthana, has lamented in one of his prayers, when will Lord Nityananda be merciful upon me, so that I will forget all material desires? Srila Narottam Das Thakur confirms that unless one is freed from material desires to satisfy the needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna, Vrindavan. He also confirms that one cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of the six Goswamis. In another verse, Narottam Das Thakur has stated that without the causeless mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. So, Lord Nityananda is very important. Right? We cannot neglect Lord Nityananda, otherwise we're not going to be able to have access to these transcendental truths and experiences. We won't be able to understand Vrindavan. We won't be able to understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. We won't be able to give up material desires. We'll be cut off from the nectar. So we worship Nityananda. And that's why Prabhupada established in all the ISKCON temples, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai. And that's why before we start chanting Hare Krishna, we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Because by calling out Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and their associates, we get the mercy to be able to chant Hare Krishna, really access the holy name. Okay, text 205. Jagai Madai Haite Muni Se Papisha Puri Shera Kita Haite Muni Se Lagisha.
I'm more sinful than Jagai and Madai and even lower than the worms in the stool.
Yeah, so this is Krishna's Kaviraj feeling like very humble. This is very, very humble that one thinks himself lower than the worms in the stool. That's very low, right? So, yeah, he's really thinking this way that although he's actually a Nitya Siddha from the spiritual world, but he's thinking, oh, here I am in this material world, caught up in this material body and, this problematic family situation and, worrying about this and worrying about that. And, the worms in the stool don't worry about anything. In one sense, the animals are more advanced because, they just automatically depend on Krishna. They don't get into anxiety, they don't stress out, they don't do things that are unnatural, they don't eat food that's not good for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just naturally follow the internal direction of the Paramatma and do what they have to do. Whereas humans, we have this problematic intelligence. And we have an abundant dose of free will, which enables us to actually override the will of the Paramatma and, do our own thing, which is usually to our detriment. So in this sense, yeah, we are also lower than the worms in the stool. Okay, text 206. Moranama Shuneye Tara Punyakshaya Moranama Rayaye Tara Papahaya.
Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful.
Yeah, he's really feeling lowly.
Why is he feeling so?
Yeah, it's hard to understand. It's actually really hard to understand these extreme humility of these pure devotees. It's something that we can't relate to, we can't understand intellectually, and we haven't felt it ourselves either because we're not in their position. But yeah, I have heard that that's how they really feel. They're not just saying it. It's not just like, just saying some words, but they actually feel that way. However, maybe one day we will understand it. Emana nigrina more keba kripa kare eka nityananda vinu jagat vitare.
Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me?
Prema mata nityananda kripa avatara uttama adama kichu na kare vichara. Lavanga? You got it there?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it 207 or 208?
Oh, wait.
Okay. Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy. He does not distinguish between the good and the bad.
So yeah, this is a characteristic of an intoxicated person. When someone gets intoxicated, they lose their sense of discrimination, right? So of course, Lord Nityananda is not intoxicated like, like a druggie or an alcoholic or something, but he's intoxicated by ecstatic love. Preme mata. He's mad with ecstatic love for Krishna. And in that state of mind, he doesn't distinguish between good and bad. So Krishna's Kaviraj is thinking, Nityananda is my only hope because he doesn't distinguish. He's not going to see how bad I am because he's so intoxicated. He's just like, take love of God, take the mercy. Good to go.
I was just asking, is it the same like what they say Uttam Adhikari is the one who does not differentiate between like who's good person and who's bad person? He's like good for all. Is it like because they are intoxicated?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the vision of the Uttama Adhikaris. They see everyone as a spirit soul.
Yeah.
And when you look at the soul, then there's no distinction. The soul is always pure. The soul is never contaminated. So they just see everyone's a pure devotee because the soul is a pure devotee.
Yeah.
But then prema is another thing, right? Prema is more than just spiritual vision. But prema is like you're just totally love struck, right? Like a person who's just madly in love, they just lose their sense of discrimination and just be doing all kinds of things that they wouldn't do otherwise. Or an intoxicated person. Like sometimes the best days that we would have on Sankirtan was when, like a weekend when I remember one time I was in Scotland and I was doing book distribution and there was a football match that day between Scotland and Wales. And everybody was drunk. Everyone on the street was drunk because the Scottish and they're known for drinking. And like football games is it's an occasion for drinking. And because the two, they don't have like a lot of like heavy rivalry. They're like friendly. It's like friendly competition. So they were like drunk and they're also in a good mood. Like they're all in high spirits. Whether they won or lost, they were in high spirits. So I was like going up to people and asking them for donations for books, and they were just like, you want a donation? Take a donation. And they were just like literally reaching in their pocket and giving, just emptying it. And I was like, thank you very much. That was one of my biggest collection days.
Wow. We should go.
That's it. intoxicated in the booth this evening after the color lecture. I didn't feel bad because they were just going to spend it all on booze, you know. Better they give it to Krishna. Okay, text 209. So yeah, so Lord Nityananda is like that. You want love of God, take love of God. You want mercy, take mercy. You want pure devotion, you got it. Ye age padaya tare kare nistara atayeva nistarila mohena durachara. Ajit?
Fireball. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me.
Yeah, so we have to fall down before Lord Nityananda. Fall down in the sense of the obeisances, right? Take a humble position. Submit ourselves. Dear Lord, here I am, your humble servant. Please accept me. Please engage me in your service. Mo papishte anilena Shri Vrindavana Mohena Adamedila Shri Rupa Charana. Nikash.
Although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami.
Yeah. Shri Rupa Charana. So yeah, by sending him to Vrindavan, then he got the association of Rupa Goswami and he was able to learn from him. Shri Madana Gopal Shri Govinda Darshana Kahi Bara Yogya Nahi Esaba Katana. Karan. Are you there, Karan?
I put a message in there. I don't have the app yet. I need to get
Oh,
set
I
up
see.
on it.
Okay, so you're
I'm
just
just
listening.
listening to it. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. No worries. How about you, Hannah?
She put a message that she's just listening.
Okay, Sneha.
Yeah, Prabhupada Priya. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting Lord Madana Gopala and Lord Govinda.
Let's see, I hope he's going to speak anyway. Yeah, he is. He's saying, I'm not fit to say what I'm about to say. This is very confidential, but he's going to say it anyway. And his great mercy on all of us readers. Text 212. Vrindavana Purandara Shrimadana Gopala Rasa Vilasi Sakshat Rajendra Kumara. Lord Madan Gopal, the chief deity of Vrindavan, is the enjoyer of the rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Raja. He has that much faith in the deity that this deity is directly the son of the king of Raj. He's not just, graven image. He's not just a sculpted image or some representation that we can there to receive our worship on behalf of Krishna, but he is directly Sakshat Rajendra Kumar.
The king of Raja is Krishna, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying the deities are the son of
Krishna, king of
No, so the
Rajendra
king of Raj
Maharaj.
is Nanda Maharaj, sorry.
Oh.
The son of Rajendra Kumar. Shri Radha Lalita Sange Rasa Vilasa Manmata Manmata Rupe Yanhara Prakasha.
He enjoys the rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita, and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Cupid of Cupids.
Manmata Rupe. So Manmata is Cupid. Tasam Avira Bhuchchodis Mayamana Mukambuja Itambara Dara Shagvi Sakshan Manmata.
Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. Purport. This is quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-2.
So he's quoting Srimad Bhagavatam here to back up his Manmata Rupe statement. That he is the Cupid of Cupids. And Srimad Bhagavatam says the same thing. the charmer of the heart of Cupid.
He was literally a wise Merry Krishna. Like he remembers everything. All the with Manmata Manmata he quoted Bhagavatam verse every time he's quoting verses.
Yeah.
How is this memory?
Right? And he was so old. Actually, Krishna Kaviraj was very old when he wrote the Chaitanya. He was like 90 years old when he wrote this book.
No, but the purport, Srila Prabhupada wrote quoting Bhagavad text.
Sorry?
You're talking about Srila Prabhupada or?
No, it's good. I was like,
She's talking about Krishna's Kaviraj. Yeah, Krishna's Kaviraj was very elderly when he wrote this. And he talks about how when they first asked him to write the Caitanya Charitamrita, he was just like, how can I do it? I'm so old. My hand is shaking. You know, like I can't stop shaking. And he said, my eyes don't even stay open. It's like, I'm just, you know, I'm he's just asking like, you know, an old man to do a huge project here. But somehow or other, he got the empowerment, right? Yeah, and it's amazing how sharp his memory is, right? Like as soon as he composes a verse, and then immediately Srimad Bhagavatam, and then another one Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Samhita, and that.
How many
Bhakti
shlokas?
Rasamrita Sindhu and Hari Bhakti Vilas. Swamadurye Loke Ramana Kare Akarshana Dui Pashe Radha Lalita Karina Sevana.
With Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the hearts of all by his own sweetness.
He's describing deity Madan Gopal. That he's standing there with Srimati Radharani and Lalita and Vishaka. It's very beautiful and very sweet. Nityananda Daya Nore Tamre Deka Kaila Shri Radha Madana Mohane Prabhu Kari Lila. Labanga.
The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Sri Madan Mohan and gave me Sri Madan Mohana as my Lord and Master.
I think the Madan Gopal and Madan Mohan, I think he's talking about the same deity. So this deity was the deity of Sanatana Goswami. It's installed by Sanatana Goswami. Mo Adame Dila Shri Govinda Darashana Kahi Bara Katana He Akatya Katana.
He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed.
So Govinda is the deity of Srila Rupa Goswami. Radha Govinda ji. Vrindavane Yoga Pitte Kalpatarubane Ratna Mandapataye Ratna Singhasane Shri Govinda Vasi Yachin Rajendra Nandana Madhurya Prakashi Karena Jagat Mohana. Nikesh.
On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavana, amidst a forest of desired trees, Lord Govinda, the son of the king of Braja, sits upon a throne of gems and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world.
Yeah, there's a verse that he basically like said the same thing in Bengali. But there's a verse. How does it start? Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumada, like that. Who knows it? Srimad Ratna Singhasanaso Srimad Radha Shri Govinda Devo Prastali Savyamane Smarani. Like that. It means the same thing basically in Sanskrit. He said the same exact thing in Bengali. Rama Parshvesh, it's that prayer, you know how there's like when we do the extended Mangalacharanam, there's the usual Mangalacharanam, the one that I recite before class. I used to anyways when we we're doing Bhagavad Gita. There's that. But then if we do something like a Pushpanjali, we'll do extended. Or like for initiation, we'll do extended Mangalacharanam. And then it includes those three prayers, one for Madan Mohan, one for Govindaji, and one for Gopinath. So this is the Govindaji one. Vama Parshve Shri Radhika Saki Gana Sange Rasadika Lila Prabhu Kare Katarange. Neha.
Yeah. By his left side is Srimati Radharani and her personal friends. With them, Lord Govinda enjoys the Ras Leela and many other pastimes.
So when he sees the deity, he sees that Krishna's there, Radharani's there, Lalita Vishaka are there, and together with all their other friends who are unmanifested, they're having the Rasa Leela and they're doing so many pastimes. Right? It's not seeing that the deity is a stone statue standing there, but very dynamic. He's active. He's engaging in all these pastimes. Yanra Dhyana Nijaloke Kare Padmasana Ashtadashakshara Mantre Kare Upasana. Lord Brahma, sitting on his lotus seat in his own abode, always meditates on him and worships him with the mantra consisting of 18 syllables. In his own planet, Lord Brahma, with the inhabitants of that planet, worships the form of Lord Govinda, Krishna, by the mantra of 18 syllables. Kling Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijanavalabhaya Swaha. Those who are initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and who chant the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day know this Ashta Dashakshara 18-syllable mantra. The inhabitants of Brahmaloka and the planets below Brahmaloka worship Lord Govinda by meditating with this mantra. There is no difference between meditating and chanting, but in the present age, meditation is not possible on this planet. Therefore, loud chanting of a mantra like the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, with soft chanting of the Ashta Dashakshara, the mantra of 18 syllables, is recommended. Lord Brahma lives in the highest planetary system known as Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. In every planet there is a predominating deity. As the predominating deity in Satyaloka is Lord Brahma, so in the heavenly planets Indra is the predominating deity, and on the sun god Vivaswan is the predominating deity. The inhabitants and predominating deities of every planet are all recommended to worship Govinda, either by meditation or by chanting. So he's saying that even on the highest planet in the universe, where Lord Brahma presides, Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, and they're chanting the mantra to worship Govinda. So this Govinda is worshipped all over the universe. And by Indra, by Vivaswan, by Brahma, by devotees here on earth. Bodha Bhuvane Yamra Sabe Kare Dhyana Vaikuntari Kure Yamra Diva Gunadana.
Everyone in the 14 worlds meditates upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sing of his qualities and pastimes.
So even in Vaikuntha, they're glorifying Govinda. Even though the Lord of Vaikuntha is Lord Vishnu, Narayan. But they're all worshipping Govinda. Yanra Madhurite Kare Lakshmi Akarshana Rupa Gosai Kariyachena Se Rupa Varnana.
The goddess of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Srila Rupa Goswami has described in this way. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita has quoted from the Padma Puran, where it is stated that Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, after seeing the attractive features of Lord Krishna, was attracted to him. And to get the favor of Lord Krishna, she engaged herself in meditation. When asked by Krishna why she engaged in meditation with austerity, Lakshmi Devi answered, I want to be one of your associates like the gopis in Vrindavan. Hearing this, Lord Sri Krishna replied that it was quite impossible. Lakshmi Devi then said that she wanted to remain just like a golden lion on the chest of the Lord. The Lord granted the request, and since then, Lakshmi has always been situated on the chest of Lord Krishna as a golden lion. The austerity and meditation of Lakshmi Devi are also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:16-36, where the Nagapatnis, the wives of the serpent Kaliya, in the course of their prayers to Krishna, said that the goddess of fortune Lakshmi also wanted his association as a gopi and desired the dust of his lotus feet.
So Lakshmi Devi is there in Vaikuntha and massaging the feet of Lord Vishnu, and in her mind she's thinking, I want to be a gopi and dance with Krishna. You'll never catch the gopis thinking, I want to serve Narayan.
Yeah.
I want to massage his feet. So that's another proof that Krishna is the highest, the original form of all incarnations. Now here's a long verse. No, it's longer than that. I think it's probably like John Adhyasya. Meram Bangi Jaya Parichitam Sachi Vishtin. Yeah. Smeram Bangi Jaya Parichitam Sachi Vishtin Adrishti. Vanshina Sadara Kishalayam Ujvalam Chandrakena. Govindakyam Haritanu Itakeshi Kirto Pakante. Ma prekshishta savayadi sake bandhu sange srirangaha.
My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshighata. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute on his lips, which seems like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Purport. This is a verse quoted from Sri Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 239 in connection with practical devotional service. Generally, people in their conditioned life engage in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love. This so called love is lust, not love. But people are satisfied with such a false understanding of love. Vidyapati, a great learned poet of Mithila, has said that the pleasure derived from friendship, society, and family life in the material world is like a drop of water. But our hearts desire pleasure like an ocean. Thus, the heart is compared to a desert that requires the water of an ocean of pleasure to satisfy its dryness. If there is a drop of water in the desert, one may indeed say that it is water, but such a minute quantity of water has no value. Similarly, in this material world, no one is satisfied in the dealings of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, if one wants to derive real pleasure within his heart, he must seek the lotus feet of Govinda. In this verse, Rupa Goswami indicates that if one wants to be satisfied in the pleasure of society, friendship, and love, he need not seek shelter at the lotus feet of Govinda. For if one takes shelter under his lotus feet, he will forget that minute quantity of so-called pleasure. One who is not satisfied with that so-called pleasure may seek the lotus feet of Govinda, who stands on the shore of Yamuna at Keshi Tirtha or Keshighata in Vrindavana and attracts all the gopis to his transcendental loving service.
Yeah, so we're all looking for happiness in loving relationships, but the happiness that we get from our mundane relationships with, just friends and family and society and countrymen here in this material world, they just give us a tiny little bit of happiness, right? A little drop of pleasure, like a drop of water in the desert. And so, but actually the soul is desiring pleasure like an ocean, Prabhupada says. So we're hankering for pleasure like an ocean. And none of these drops are going to ever satisfy us, right? Maybe this friend gives us a drop, this family member gives us a drop, this our spouse gives us a drop, our children give us a drop. But those drops are nothing compared to what we really need. We need an ocean. So then Krishna's saying, Rupa Goswami is saying in this verse then that, if you really want to hold on to your little drops of pleasure that you get from your mundane relationships, then don't go see Govinda, because as soon as you start up a relationship with him, you are going to get flooded with an ocean of pleasure, and you are going to just forget about everything else. Those relationships are going to just fall to the wayside. Ajit?
I don't know if this is speculation or if you've thought about this, but you think that like everyone we kind of know this deep down, and that's why so many people are just like they're just like averse. They don't have a reason for it. They don't really know why, but they're just like I just don't want to chant, or I just do you think like deep down like the person knows like if they get too close to Govinda, they're gonna have to let go of all their worldly relationships and whatnot, you know?
They're done for. Material life is over. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that like, in India, a lot of people worship demigods, right? So they like worshiping the demigods because the demigods actually, come through and give them the material things that they want. And then, but they're not so interested in worshiping Krishna because not only does he not always or often not give them the material things that they ask him, but sometimes he takes away the things that they have. Right? That's what it says in the Bhagavatam. It says that for one who has actually gotten the mercy of the Lord, the first installment of his mercy is he takes away all of our material attachments. So that is definitely there, and Krishna's not being he's being very transparent about it. It's right there in the Bhagavatam. So right there in black and white. It's not even a small print, like it's right there. So yeah, some people know about it and therefore they avoid Krishna. But also it may be an intuitive thing, like from the heart. Intuition means like Paramatma. So if somebody's very, very attached to their material life and they have no, desire to give it up, then the Paramatma may be like, oh, there's a devotee there with the Bhagavad Gita. You better just cross the street right now so that he doesn't come bother you and talk to you. Right, that happens. So yeah, we have our desires and the Paramatma responds to them for better or for worse.
I have a similar experience where I was new to Krishna consciousness. So what happened? We went to the yatra, and there was one lady. We were in a yatra, and she got small Landu Gopal from Vrindavan, and she was treating him as his son and everything. And then to the second yatra, when we went, she lost her son. So she
God.
fainted and everything, and then I was very new. So I heard
Like her son, you mean her son like died?
yeah.
Like during the yatra?
Not doing like she was in the yatra,
In the
but her
time
son
between.
was her
Okay.
son was in the house and she was in the yatra.
Oh.
So I thought that oh, this is because and she was loving that deity small Krishna as his son, like everywhere. She was saying that oh he's my son, he's my son. And then I started that thought came into me, oh, because
That's
Krishna
crazy.
wanted to be his son and Krishna takes away and all those things, like all the crap, because I was so new to bhakti. So I was thinking like that and really got scared and we used to hear it in lecture that Krishna takes away all your material attachments. But later now I understood that no, it was supposed to happen and Krishna came in so that he can fill that gap which is going to happen to her. And now now we also pray that okay, take all the attachments so that this material thing will not bother us. But this is actually true. And when that happened, I was really thinking that oh, if I chant, is it going to happen that Krishna will take things? Yeah, for a short period I was like these thoughts came into me. So real story.
Wow. Lavanya?
So one of the verses I have to give class on tomorrow, it says in the pulpit, Prabhupada saying that if somebody is very attached to material life, they will not, there's no hope for them to take up Christian consciousness, like no matter what. But at the same time, if one is if one has once tasted the lotus feet of Govinda, has once tasted devotional service, even if there's some impediments here and there, they're never completely lost. And so then you think of in Tucson, there was this one guy that was coming around the temple, and he would come around for a while, and then he would just disappear, and then he would come around again, and he would just disappear. So one time we asked him, why are you always like coming and going, coming and going? And he said, because after hanging out with you guys for a while, I realized I can't enjoy the material world like I used to. And that scares me. So I disappear. But then when I disappear, then I miss you guys and then I come back. So it's like if one is really, it just feels like if one is really like, if one really wants to like enjoy material life, no matter what, they're gonna be, they won't pick up Krishna consciousness. But once you taste it a little bit, you can't completely go away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, poor him. He's caught in a situation with his mind, right? Like he wants to enjoy material life, but at the same time, he's attached to the devotees. So he's like pulled from one attachment to the other. And then because what he knows about Krishna consciousness, he can't really enjoy material life. But because of his attachments to material life, he can't really like totally just surrender to the devotees and Krishna. Anyways, I hope that he comes to the right side and stays there one day. Okay, thank you for sharing. Good stories. Text 225. Sakshad Vajendra Sutta Ite Nahi Ana Yeva Agye Kare Kanya Pratimahena Jnana. Whose turn is it? Oh, you read? Huh?
Yeah, I read.
Okay, back to you, Lavanga.
Without a doubt, he is directly the son of the king of Raja. Only a fool considers him a statue.
Yeah, so I mean, after hearing all this, how when you come see the deity, all your material life starts falling apart. How can he just be a statue, right? He's actually doing things. He's like doing all kinds of things. Like here in Dallas, we have Radha Kalachandji, so the devotees are always like, yeah, Kalachand, like Aruna, we have a girl here, Aruna. Usually she's on the call. Anyways, like, sometimes she wants to go to Gainesville because she loves the devotees there and the gurus there and all that. And then she's like, what can I do? Kalachandji won't let me go. So, yeah, there's a sense in which, not a sense in which, but it's actually a fact that the deity actually is very actively doing things in our lives, creating situations. 226. Se aparadhe tara nahika nisara gora narakete pareki baliba ara. Ajit.
26.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta look
For that offense he cannot be liberated. Rather he will fall into a terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Purport. In his Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami has stated that those who are actually very serious about devotional service do not differentiate between the form of the Lord made of clay, metal, stone, or wood and the original form of the Lord. In the material world, a person and his photograph, picture, or statue are different, but the statue of Lord Krishna and Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are not different because the Lord is absolute. When we call stone, wood, and metal, what we call stone, wood, and metal are energies of the Supreme Lord, and energies are never separate from the energetic. As we have several times explained, no one can separate the sunshine energy from the energetic sun. Therefore, material energy may appear separate from the Lord, but transcendentally it is not different from the Lord. The Lord can appear anywhere and everywhere because his diverse energies are distributed everywhere like sunshine. We should therefore understand whatever we see to be the energy of the Supreme Lord, and should not differentiate between the Lord and his archa form made from clay, metal, wood, or paint. Even if one has not developed this consciousness, one should accept it theoretically from the instructions of the spiritual master and should worship the archa murti, or form of the Lord, in the temple as not different from the Lord. The Padma Purana specifically mentions that anyone who thinks the form of the Lord in the temple to be made of wood, stone, or metal is certainly in a hellish condition. Impersonalists are against the worship of the Lord's form in the temple, and there is even a group of people who pass as Hindus but condemn such worship. Their so-called acceptance of the Vedas has no meaning. For all the acharyas, even the impersonalist Shankaracharya, have recommended the worship of the transcendental form of the Lord. And personalists like Shankaracharya recommend the worship of five forms known as Panchopasana, which include Lord Vishnu. Vaishnavas, however, worship the forms of Lord Vishnu in his varied manifestations, such as Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram, and Rukmini Krishna. Mayavadis admit that worship of the Lord's form is required in the beginning, but they think that in the end everything is impersonal. Therefore, since they are ultimately against worship of the Lord's form, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described them as offenders. Srimad Bhagavatam has condemned those who think the body to be the self as Bhoma Ijyadi. Bhoma means earth and Ijyadi means worshipper. There are two kinds of Bhoma Ijyadi. Those who worship the land of their birth, such as nationalists, who make many sacrifices for the motherland, and those who condemn the worship of the form of the Lord. One should not worship the planet Earth or land of his birth, nor should one condemn the form of the Lord, which is manifested in metal or wood for our facility. Material things are also the energy of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, so yeah, he's making this point that the deity is none different from the Lord, because yeah, in one way of looking at it, everything is non different from the Lord, because everything is his energies, and even the ingredients that whether metal, wood, clay, stone, whatever, that's all Krishna's energies, so it's also Krishna. But then someone could say, oh well, if everything is Krishna, then what difference does it make? We make whether we worship the stone statue of Krishna on the altar, or some stone in the backyard, or wooden form of the Lord, or a wooden table, or it's all just wood, and it's the energy of the Lord. So how's one energy of the Lord to be worshipped, and another energy of the Lord is not to be worshipped? So from that we have to follow the scriptures, right? So the scriptures give the actual description of the form of the Lord, and the scriptures also give some different injunctions for how to carve the deity form of the Lord, and how to install the Lord in the form of the deity. So so Krishna very kindly endorses this system by giving all kinds of Vedic injunctions for how to do it, how to make a deity, what materials to make it from, how to install it, how to worship it, and so the Lord accepts our worship through the properly installed, authorized deity form of the Lord. And Prabhupada says that it's like a post box, right? That like sometimes in the street you'll see, like in America, they have this blue box, right? It says U.S. Postal Service. So if you put your letter in that blue box, postman's going to pick it up and he's going to take it. Right? Your letter will be accepted from that box. But if you make your own box and you put it in front of your house and paint it blue and put U.S. Postal Service on it and think, oh, that's more convenient, I'll just put them there, postman's not going to pick them up because it's not authorized. So you can't just just fabricate your own form of the Lord and think, all right, Krishna's going to accept worship through this form. But that's actually idol worship. In Christianity, like Jesus preached quite heavily against idol worship. So a lot of Christians, when they come to our temples, they see the deity and they think, oh, this is idol worship, this is wrong, Jesus was against this, I can't be a part of this, it's irreligious or whatever, right? So we have to understand what is idol worship and what is not idol worship. So idol worship is when you just concoct your own, form out of your own imagination, your own mental concoction, and you just fabricate some form and then you just start worshiping, thinking, this is my God, and he accept. So God doesn't accept that worship through that form, in the same way that the post office doesn't accept a letter through your homemade box. You have to actually, it has to be authorized. So yeah, when we worship the authorized form of the Lord, who is made and installed and worshipped according to an authorized process, then Krishna, he agrees to be personally present in that form. He can reciprocate with us in that form. He accepts our worship and purifies us and helps us develop our love for him. So yeah, Ajit, do you have a comment there?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand how that works within Grihastha Ashram. I mean, you've seen our deities and now they're here. I don't considered installed. So does that mean he's not accepting our worship, or how does that work? Like, we got them here. Okay, they're carved by deities, by devotees. They're from Vrindavan. Okay, we're taking care of them, feeding them, but like, I don't know. Are they there? You know, like.
Yeah. Well, one thing we know is that they're authorized forms of the Lord, right? Jagannath Bali Subhaja, that's actually a true form of the Lord. And, it's carved properly and painted in traditional way. And, yeah. So for home deity worship, you don't have to do like a whole huge installation ceremony, but you can do a little installation ceremony, right? You can invite devotees over to the house, especially if you have a senior devotee who can come and do kirtan and do arti, and you can have everyone pray that the Lord will be present in the form of those deities, and yeah, and then you worship them very seriously according to home deity worship standards. And
That is called Prem Pratishtha, the idols which we have in the home.
Pran Pratishtha. Yeah.
Pran Pratishtha is in the temple, but the deities we have, Shankarani Prabhu have Subhadra, Baldev, and Jagannath. So he told that we did Prem Pratishtha.
Prem?
Prem Pratishtha. Like, it is with love, or because it's the form of the Lord. We don't do Pran Pratishtha at the house. Like, we do, but it is recommended for the temple.
Yeah.
In the home idols, we usually do Prem Pratishtha. It is with love, because we might do a lot of mistakes while serving. So,
yeah, so Parishi said, who said that?
Shankaranya Prabhu.
Okay. So yes, devotee here in Dallas, he was saying that. Did you hear that? That's clear?
A little bit.
Yeah, he was saying that for home deity worship, we don't do the same installation procedure as temple worship because the standard is different and all that. But that's called pran pratishtha in the temple when they they invite the deity to come in, and pran means life, right? And pratishtha means like to enter, be situated, enter and stay there. So it's kind of like you're inviting the deity, the Lord, to come and live in the deity. So he said that for home deity worship, we don't do pran pratishtha, but we do something called prem pratishtha. That by our love, by worshiping the deity with our love, then Krishna's attracted to love and devotion. So when we offer things to him with love, then he responds to our love. He accepts the love, and he is present there because of our love. So yeah, as long as you're doing everything with love, then Krishna is accepting.
Oh man, okay. Have to find some prema somewhere.
Prema mining. Okay, good. Very nice. Let's go on. 227. Hinaye Govinda Prabhu Painu Yanha Haite Anara Charana Kripa Ke Pare Varnite. Who we got? Nikesh.
Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda?
Jai. Vrindavani Vaishayata Vaishnava Mandala Krishna Nama Parayana Parama Mangala. Sneha. You there, Sneha? All right, then I'm going to read. All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting. Oh, you can do the next one. All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting the all-auspicious name of Krishna. Yanra Prana Dana Nityananda Shri Caitanya Radha Krishna Bhakti Vina Nahi Chani Anya. Right, Sneha.
Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are the life and the soul of those Vaishnavas who do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna.
De Vaishnava Pada Renu Kara Padachaya Adamene Dila Prabhu Nityananda Daya.
The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
Chandra Sarvalabhyahaya Prabhura Bachana Se Sitra Ekada Kaila Vivarana.
All these things are possible. Here I have explained this brief statement in detail.
In Vrindavan, all things are possible. Se Saba Painuami Vrindavane Aya Se Saba Labhya E Prabhura Kripaya.
I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavan, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Purport: all the inhabitants of Vrindavana are Vaishnavas. They are all auspicious because somehow or the other they always chant the holy name of Krishna. Even though some of them do not strictly follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, on the whole they are devotees of Krishna and chant his name directly or indirectly, purposely or without purpose. Even when they pass on the street, they are fortunate enough to exchange greetings by saying the name of Radha or Krishna. Thus, directly or indirectly, they are auspicious. The present city of Vrindavana has been established by Gaudiya Vaishnavas since the six Goswamis went there and directed the construction of their different temples. Of all the temples in Vrindavana, 90% belong to Gaudiya Vaishnavas sect, the followers of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. And seven temples are very famous. The inhabitants of Vrindavana do not know anything but the worship of Radha and Krishna. In recent years, some unscrupulous,
Unscrupulous.
uns, I'm sorry, can you come? Unscrupulous so-called priests known as caste Goswamis have introduced the worship of demigods privately, but no genuine and rigid Vaishnavas participate in this. Those who are serious about the Vaishnava method of devotional activities do not take part in such worship of demigods. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas never differentiate between Radha Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. They say that since Lord Chaitanya is the combination of Radha Krishna, he is not different from Radha and Krishna. But some misled people try to prove that they are greatly elevated by saying that they have to chant the holy name of Lord Gaura instead of the names of Radha and Krishna. Thus, they purposely differentiate between Lord Chaitanya and Radha Krishna. According to them, the system of Nadia Nagari, which they have recently invented in their fertile brains, is the worship of Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. But they do not like to worship Radha and Krishna. They put forward the argument that since Lord Chaitanya himself appeared as Radha and Krishna combined, there is no necessity of worshipping Radha and Krishna. Such differentiation by so-called devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered disruptive by pure devotees. Anyone who differentiates between Radha Krishna and Gauranga is to be considered a plaything in the hands of Maya. There are others who are against the worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thinking him mundane. But any sect that differentiates between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna, either by worshipping Radha Krishna as distinct from Lord Chaitanya or by worshipping Lord Chaitanya but not Radha Krishna, is in the group of Prakrita Sahaj, Sahajiyas. Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, predicts in verse 225 and 226 that in the future, those who manufacture imaginary methods of worship will gradually give up the worship of Radha Krishna. And although they will call themselves devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they will also give up the worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and fall down into material activities. For the real worshippers of Lord Chaitanya, the ultimate goal of life is to worship Sri Radha and Krishna.
Yeah. So we have to be very careful here to make sure we understand how to worship Lord Chaitanya and Shri Gauranitai and also Radha and Krishna. Because sometimes you hear Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined, and he's more merciful even than Radha and Krishna. So forget about Radha and Krishna. We should just worship Lord Chaitanya, right? Or that when chanting Hare Krishna, we might commit some offense. But in chanting the Panchatattva mantra, there's no offense. So why don't we just chant 108? Why don't we just chant 16 rounds of Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Govinda? So the problem with that is that Lord Chaitanya taught us to worship Radha and Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught us, instructed us to chant Hare Krishna. Right? So yeah. So the way to worship Lord Chaitanya is to chant Hare Krishna, chant the names of Radha and Krishna. The way to worship Lord Chaitanya is to worship the deities of Radha and Krishna. And we do that. So taking the mercy of Shri Shri Gaurnitai, we can approach Radha and Krishna. And that's how it works. Taking the mercy of the Panchatattva by chanting the Panchatattva mantra, then we can access the mercy of the Hare Krishna mantra. So we understand, like philosophically, that they're the same, but then there's also a difference in the mood. Because Lord Chaitanya came in the form of a devotee to teach us how to be a devotee. And what he taught was that a devotee worships Radha and Krishna. So we follow his teachings and we follow his example, and we don't speculate and think, forget about Radha and Krishna.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So, how much, like, I was reading this book and they say they had a different Mangalacharan for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So, to what extent are we worshipping God? Like, not the extent, but how they say, like, how much we should worship Gaurnitai, and we are saying Radha Krishna, we are saying Hare Krishna mantra, but we are also saying that we need the mercy.
Yeah.
So how much we should pray to get that mercy?
Yeah, so that's why we pray. That's why we before we chant Hare Krishna, we always chant the Panchatattva mantra, right? And when we're chanting that, we're praying to Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Vaitacharya for their mercy, so that we can approach Radha and Krishna.
And when we are serving God in Thai, what should be our mood? Like serving them or seeing Krishna, seeing God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Radha and Krishna?
I mean, if we're worshiping the deities of Gaurnitai, we should worship them. You're worshiping Gaurnitai with out of gratitude that this is Krishna and its most merciful forms that they came to give us the Hare Krishna mantra, infused with Goloka prema. We worship them with a lot of gratitude for what they've given us, and that He's the Lord Himself in His most merciful incarnation. But then we also accept what He gave us, right, which is Radha Krishna.
Was ultimate goal is to worship Radha and Krishna, but we have deities of Gaurnitai and Subhadra Maharani, Baldevan, Jagannath, or Lord, because they are like they do not take offenses.
Yeah.
That's why we have them. And serving Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra is like they are royal. It needs royal treatment. But Radha Krishna having them as a deity, it needs strict regulations of worshipping, even at home. Like Nauji Prabhu have Radha Krishna, Madhav, Radha Madhav. So they are very strict with everything, even the slightest of thing they do not. Like it will have offenses if something is not done tightly.
Yeah. So Prabhupada, he generally like for, home deity worship or preaching centers where you can't have like a very high like temple standard, then he always recommended Gaurnitai or Jagannath Bali Subhadra because they're more merciful, more tolerant. Whereas Radha and Krishna, if you make some mistake, you're in trouble. You're getting full reaction.
I have a Krishna deity with me, but that I had like when I was not a devotee or like I was about to become a devotee. I got him from Vrindavan, but I didn't want to give him away to anybody. I still want to keep him with me. Yeah, I mean, but he's Krishna deity.
He did not do Pram Pratishtha. Oh, sorry, Prem Pratishtha, right?
No.
But
Yeah.
try to share some love, at least flowers or something.
No, I dress him up and I do everything. Yeah, but I have Krishna deity.
Even Wisconsin and this places in North, there are a lot of places they have ISKCON temples. They just have Gaurnitai. They don't have deities.
Yeah, usually when temples start, like Alachua temple for so many years, like decades, they had only Gaurnitai. And then they were building the community and they were waiting until they were ready you know, when they were ready, when they had like many Brahmins and, you know, they were ready to have the highest standard, then they installed Radha Shyama Krishna Balaram. Now they're able to maintain. So let's just read just 3 more verses for this chapter. Let's finish up. Apanara kataliki niraja haya nityananda gune lekaya unmata kariya. I have described my own story without reservations. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, forced me to write these things. Nityananda Prabhura Guna Mahima Apara Sahasra Vadane Shesha Nahi Paya Yara.
The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Sesha, with his thousands of mouths, cannot find their limit.
So he just narrated this whole chapter, 234 verses, about the glories of Lord Nityananda. And we heard a lot of things, right? About him being Mahavishnu and this, that, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, all the universes, all the resting places, Anantashesh, and all these things. And he's saying that his glories are unfathomable. I haven't even scraped the surface, basically. And Lord Shesha with thousands of mouths cannot come to the end of them. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yara Asha Caitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Good to go.
And praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Purport. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, describing the glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram.
Karan, you had your hand up there for a sec. You have a question or comment?
Yeah, I was just curious, for those of you who have done the Panchatattva mantra for a while, like what have you noticed any effect from that mantra specifically in your life?
Yeah, Panchatattva mantra is very sweet. Very merciful, very joyful. Yeah, when we sing that, then it's a very lot of devotional enthusiasm comes up. Okay.
I think for me, it increases the connection from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and all the Panchatattva because we chant, we remember, and as soon as we remember, we have the image of them, and like it increased the connection.
I think they showered more mercy to get the
Showered more mercy. Abdul, how about you?
Yeah, I just wanted to share my story. The first time I heard Panchatattva mantra, actually, you were in the vicinity, Prabhupada Priya. It was the Ratha Yatra in Toronto. And I had no idea what it was. I had never heard it before, but it was Janaki that she started the kirtan for the parade singing this, you know, and that's the first like thing I heard. I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. It felt like so transcendental. And I took a video of it. And actually, then after the whole parade, I went back to where I was living at, where there was no devotees, there's no chanting, nothing. But I had that recording specifically of the Panchatattva, and I kept listening to it. I was like, wow, I really love this song. And then I looked it up and I learned it, and I was singing it all around the ashram where I was staying at. And anyways, that's just my little story that I got really attached to that mantra as soon as I heard it. I had no idea what it meant or anything, but I could tell it was powerful.
attracted to higher taste.
Yeah, I remember when I first started chanting japa, I was a very, very new devotee. And I'd start with the Panchatattva mantra, and I'd get so ecstatic chanting that. I would literally get ecstatic chanting the Panchatattva mantra, and then I would do my 108 Hare Krishnas, and I would just be like, as I was coming to the end of the round, I would be like feeling the suspense. Yeah, really getting excited that soon I'm going to chant that Panchatattva mantra again. Getting all excited about it, and I'd be like, and then I'd do my 108, and I was just waiting to come around again to be able to say that. Yeah, I feel like in the beginning, like as new devotees, we get a lot of mercy from Panchatattva. Like Lord Chaitanya is so happy that we came to Bhakti. He's like showering us with so much love. Okay, Jai, we finished that long chapter. Now we're going to hear about chapter 6, the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Haribol. And he's also in the. So we heard about Lord Chaitanya, and we heard about Lord Nityananda, and now we're going to hear Advaita. So it's Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita. We're hearing about these Panchatattva. And then actually, I think chapter 7 is actually specifically like, yeah, it's Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. The chapter is all about the Panchatattva. So yeah, it's nice that we ended this little discussion about Panchatattva because we're going to stay meditating on the Panchatattva sometime now. Okay. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.